So you get an email from a former employee, and they're asking you to delete all of their personal data. It's a question that's landing in more and more inboxes for HR and compliance teams every single day. And, well, the answer is anything but simple. So let's dive in and figure out how to handle it.
And yeah, it usually starts with an email that looks exactly like this one. It's short, it's direct, and it even throws in a legal citation like GDPR. It seems simple enough, right? But believe me, this one little request is the first step in a very, very delicate process.
And that's the real challenge right there. You're basically walking a legal tightrope. On one side, you've got this person's legal right to be forgotten. But on the other, you've got a whole stack of your own legal and business obligations. One little slip, and yeah, it can get expensive fast. Okay, so before we even think about drafting a reply, we've got to know the rules of the game, right? Let's decode what this whole right to be forgotten thing really means when you're the one signing the paychecks. The right to be forgotten, and you'll probably see it called RTBF, is a huge deal in modern privacy laws like GDPR. It's what gives people the power to tell a company, hey, delete my stuff. And here's the kicker. This isn't them just asking nicely. It's a full-on, legally backed right.
So, when does this right actually kick in? Well, a big one is when the data just isn't necessary anymore for the original reason you collected it. I mean, they don't work for you anymore, right? It also applies if they pull back their consent, or maybe if the data was processed unlawfully to begin with. And sometimes you just have to delete it to comply with some other legal rule.
But, and this is so important, this right is not absolute. It's not some magic delete everything button. And honestly, this is where it gets super tricky for employers, because you can, and in many cases you must, hang on to certain data. Think about it. You've got tax laws, labor laws, and what if you need that data to defend yourself in a legal dispute? You can't just wipe it clean.
Okay, knowing the rules is a great first step, but what do you actually do when that email lands in your inbox? Let's walk through a super clear 6-step action plan that'll take you all the way from that initial email to a fully compliant resolution.
All right, here's your playbook. Step 1, acknowledge it. Just send a quick reply so they know you got it. Step 2, and you absolutely cannot skip this, verify who they are. Seriously, you can't start deleting things based on a random email. Step 3, go on a data treasure hunt. Find all of it, no matter what system it's hiding in. 4, the big evaluation. Figure out what you legally have to keep. 5, now you can delete everything else. And finally, step 6, close the loop. Send them a clear summary of what you did and why.
And that evaluation phase, step 4, man, that's really the heart of the whole process. This table breaks it down perfectly. You can't just hit a giant delete button on an employee file. Look here, payroll and tax records, you're legally on the hook to keep those for 7 years, maybe more. Employee contracts, disciplinary notes, you better believe you're holding on to those until any chance of a lawsuit is long gone. This is your cheat sheet for making smart, defensible choices.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's get real. How does this actually play out in the wild? Let's run through a quick case study and see this plan in action, from start to finish.
So, here's the scene. A former content writer sends in the request. Day 1, boom, the company acknowledges it. By day 5, they've confirmed it's really them. Then, for the next couple weeks, they're digging through the HR system, emails, even old Slack channels. On day 20, they do the deletion. But, and this is the key part, they keep the salary slips because they have to. And by day 25, well within that 30-day GDPR clock, they send a final summary. That's how you do it. Compliant, transparent, and it builds trust. And don't forget, this isn't just a GDPR thing for companies in Europe. It's going global. For example, India's DPDPA gives people very similar rights to get their data erased. The details might be a little different, but the trend is the same. The big takeaway here? You've got to know the privacy laws for wherever you do business.
All right, let's wrap this up. What are the absolute must-dos? Number 1, always validate their identity first. Number 2, know where your data is. This has to be a team sport between HR, IT, and legal. 3, your legal duty to keep data often trumps their right to delete it. Don't forget that. And finally, document everything. I mean everything. That paper trail is your best friend if anyone ever asks questions.
You know, at the end of the day, getting one of these requests isn't just an annoyance or another task on your to-do list. Think of it as a pop quiz. It's a test of your systems, a test of your data policies, and really, a test of how seriously your company takes privacy. So the real question you have to ask is, are you ready to pass?